I heard my fiancée tell her friend that her ex will always be the love of her life. I'm worried about my fiancée. She's 31 and I'm 33. We got engaged in October last year and have been in a relationship for 5 years. Everything has been great and I can honestly say that I've never met anyone who comes close. She's definitely been the love of my life. I've known her since we were kids. We grew up on the same street, just around the corner from each other. Her mom and dad still live in the same house, and I still live in the same house I grew up in, which my mum left me when she passed away in 2014. We don't officially live together yet, but it's pretty much the same thing. Her parents and she are really close, and she still has her bedroom there and will occasionally spend the night there. But she's never away from here anyway. This morning I decided to take a walk down to the shops to buy some things. As I was about halfway there, I realized I had forgotten my face mask. Masks are mandatory here since July 10th, so I had to walk back and get mine. When I walked in the door to grab the mask from the kitchen table, I heard her speaking loudly to someone on the phone. I was in the living room when I heard her say, "Yeah, but David will always be the love of my life." David is her ex-boyfriend. I don't know much about him, but I know they were together for 2 years and it ended a year before we started dating. He also broke up with her. I just grabbed my mask and walked back out. As I got to the shops, I felt a bit strange and had to sit down because my mind was going in 1,000 different directions. I eventually got back home and immediately told her I felt sick and sent her back to her parents' house because I didn't want her around while I was ill. I'm lying in my bed now wondering what to be honest. I know she didn't do anything wrong. It's not like she cheated on me or intentionally went out of her way to hurt me. But what's heard can't be unheard. She basically said that the person she agreed to marry doesn't match up to an act she hasn't been with for 6 years. The fact he said he'll always be the love of her life, which means it's a dead end. Her heart's already been taken, and there's nothing I could ever do to change that. What if he did come back into her life? You can't turn down the love of your life when they come calling. I'd be dumped. So what do? I could tell her I overheard her and it hurt. Or I could just end the relationship for a vague reason. I could swallow my pride and pretend I didn't hear it. Everything has been wonderful, but I don't want to be someone's second choice, especially when her ex is the one she'd obviously be with if she could. I'm thinking about just saying it's not working between us. Update 1, I was going to update sooner, but I've spent the last 3.5 days drinking my feelings away, so my apologies, but I'll just a heads up, this isn't going to be a great update. After posting and getting some advice on Reddit on Thursday, I was thinking of telling her to come over at night so we could talk. But I decided on Friday morning instead because I wanted to think it through. She still thought I was ill, so I needed a bit of time to think through what I was going to say. So she came around on Friday morning at about 8 a.m. with rolls and tuna mayo, which her mum had made for me, along with grapes, sweets and juice and stuff. I think she could see right away that something was wrong, as I must have looked pretty upset. Anyway, I told her I wasn't really sick. I said that yesterday, when I was going to the shops, I forgot my mask and had to go back to get it. When I got in, I heard her talking in the other room about David. Her face went completely pale. She started to cry, so I stopped talking and just looked at her. She ran into the toilet, locked the door and started crying hysterically. I was really worried. Her reaction made me think she didn't know what I'd heard, so she must have said something. I also learned some other things about him. I knocked on the door and told her that if she wanted to save this relationship, she had better tell me everything right now. About 30 minutes later, she finally came out, dabbing her face with a tissue, and told me that David had contacted her 4 or 5 months ago. She said that she had been sleeping with him once or twice a week since I mentioned in my previous post that she sometimes goes to stay with her parents, usually about once a week, sometimes twice, sometimes not at all. The thing is, I've visited her dozens of times over the years too. I've been speaking to her mum or dad, watching TV, or doing anything at all without informing her, and she's always been there, so it's just become routine. I've never thought any more about it. This has obviously been the times that she's gone to meet David. All I can think of is the snippet of conversation I heard. I heard that she was helping her choose between David and me. When I heard this, I lost it. I kicked her out, grabbed her stuff, put it in bin bags and threw it out the door into the front garden. She's still standing there, by the way. I then grabbed my garden hose and drenched it. I also threw the bags out. I know it was wrong. It was childish and unnecessary. In hindsight, I should never have done that. At that point, she ran to her house. About a minute later, her dad came out, screaming. Her dad and I ended up fighting in the front garden. It was around 9 a.m. The police showed up, and half the street was out because of the commotion. Afterward, I blocked her on everything and went to my friend's house, where 3 of us spent the weekend and Monday drinking. When I got back to the house this morning, I noticed she had been back in the house at some point. She'd made the beds, done the washing and ironed. I have no idea why she did this. As I'm writing this, she's tried to get in again. I haven't been able to change the locks yet, so I put the door chains on the front and back door. I heard the chains clanging and she tried to get in. She's left a note through the door. I don't even want to read it right now. I'm too hurt, hungry and hungover to even think about what she has to say. Update 2, since everything that has happened, things have taken a turn for the worse. Farther. I'm writing to explain my side of the story and apologize for taking things public and embarrassing his daughter. As I said previously, I acted instinctively and didn't apologize for fighting him. He basically told me to screw off and accused me of biting his ear. For some reason, that's what was stuck in my teeth. I'm just joking, but if you don't laugh you'll cry. About a week ago, I went outside to find my car had been keyed right down from the passenger side wing mirror around to the boot. Last Sunday, I was walking down the road to meet a friend at the Arches, a place where we sometimes meet up and walk from an arch bridge. As I was turning the corner, a friend of a friend called me a disgrace. I asked how I could be a disgrace and she told me that I'm a disgrace for beating up my ex-fiancé. Let's be clear here, I've never laid a finger on her in my life. It seems that her father or someone else is behind this lie. The fact that I threw her stuff out and hosed it has given this an air of authenticity. I haven't spoken to my ex and she hasn't tried to contact me again. I think they are all on the same page now that I'm the bad guy. I've got the ball rolling. I've put my house up for sale because I can't live here anymore. I wish I still had my mum to lean on because she would make things better. I'm sorry for the poor quality of this update. I hope this update is helpful. I'm still living in my house, but I'm renting it out instead of selling it. I can't in good conscience give up something that was my mom's and has been in the family for generations. I've since spoken to the father, and I understand why the family sticks together, but it was a pretty ridiculous move to throw me under the bus like that. I guess I'm just collateral damage to them. I've known them my whole life, so it's not like I'm an outsider. All in all, I feel like I've been caught in a crap storm that changed course. I'm still struggling, but I'm feeling a lot better now that I've got an umbrella. I'd also like to mention that I posted on social media to share my side of the story. Whether that was the right move or not is up for debate. I suppose it was, but I felt it was time to speak up after I'd let those close to me spread the word first. I'm hoping that people who don't have a stake in this will see things from my side. My close friends have been incredible throughout all this, but that's why they are close friends, I guess. Anyway, thanks. Edit. Well, it's been over a year now, and I have since moved out of my house and I'm now renting it to a nice older couple. So I thought I'd give you an update. I'm doing great and I've even got myself a girlfriend. I wish you luck. Life came at me fast, but I stood strong. I'm looking forward to the future. We only get one life, right? I'm not going to waste it on someone who treats me like trash.